Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Stark, and we are here once again, 1:30 every Tuesday, Pacific Standard Time. And, today's a really powerful topic. And I want to thank everybody. We had many questions sent in advance. And the topic today is how do we live a fulfilled, successful, and a life of abundance? From leadership to living that life. And, I have to tell you, this is something that I think is a never ending process. We all deal with it. And I hope today I share with you some definitely some good feedback and answer your questions fully enough that will really help you. All right. So let me jump right in. So, if we're talking about living a fulfilled life and being happy, so let me just be blunt about that, and being happy, I think one issue that I see people fall into is their ability to feel that they're actually worthy of their success. And, to be direct, if you as an individual do not feel that you're worthy, okay, to be happy and successful, that's a challenge. And that is something that absolutely can hold you back. I want to share with you just some thoughts around this aspect and hopefully some tips that I would recommend that you do, all right, and will help you get truly to this point. One, you have to really want to be successful and happy. And I know that sounds like an easy, well, sure. Now, people can say it, but you really, truly have to want it. See, when you want it and the day or the week or the month or the quarter or the year doesn't go well, you can very quickly, okay, get back to that focus of here's who I am as an individual. I want a fulfilled, happy life. And you tend to get right back into that focus if you truly mean it. Now, I will tell you the best way won't be this. It won't be your mouth that tells you and others really where your mindset is. It will be your actions. So you don't have to say a word. Your actions will say, are you truly looking for abundance, success, and happiness in your life? All right. So I want you to keep that in mind because this idea around truth and being honest with yourself is going to come up again. Second aspect I find around this, and this one really amazes me, and that is you have to choose to be your best friend. And I don't mean full of yourself best friend. I'm talking about your real best friend. See, best friends don't talk down on you. Best friends don't whisper in your ear negative thoughts constantly. I mean, think about it. If you had a friend that was constantly whispering in your ears, you're not worthy. You're worthless. Okay? You don't deserve anything. You should not be successful. Hopefully, one, you wouldn't put them in the category too long of best friend, and you wouldn't want to hang with them because you know what? You don't feel excited. You don't feel inspired. You certainly don't feel successful being around someone like that. Well, sorry, you fall into this category as well. You need to be your best friend, right? And that is you've got your back. Even when you make a mistake, even when you screw up, you're like, you know what? The past is the past. Ooh, don't do that one again. All right? We're human. We make mistakes. Onwards and upwards and get back focused on truly, okay, the happiness and the fulfilled life that I'm trying to live. All right? If you can't be your best friend and you expect other people to treat you kindly and you don't even choose to treat you kindly, it doesn't make much sense. All right? Last point about this is, I've shared this before. I'm in a group called Vistage, and it's a CEO group, and we meet, and I think I've mentioned this too. We call it being carefrontational, where you say what's on your mind, you say things direct. We know everyone owns their feelings. their own feelings. So all I have to do is be carefrontational. I say things caring, but I say what's on my mind. That's the highest level of integrity. Saying what I think ultimately to help you. All right. So if you can't, speak and say ultimately what's on your mind, you know what? An opportunity to see a professional, to really sit down and say, you know what? It makes sense to me that I should be my best friend. But I have to tell you, I have trouble supporting myself. I have trouble speaking my mind. Okay. I have trouble even focusing on getting better. Having the opportunity to see a professional or a group, whatever it is that works for you, is a powerful, powerful tool. Guys, one thing I want everyone to know, and you got to internalize this. Every single human being is work in progress. Everybody. They may not want to admit it. They may disagree. That's okay. I'm telling you, all right? Everyone's work in progress. I don't know anyone who's perfect. And remember, if you're living a fulfilled life, that's just not about business. It's about family. It's about friends, all your relationships, what you ultimately want to accomplish in life, whatever all that is, that's living a complete fulfilled life. So I don't know of anyone who's completely there. And if you are very close, God bless. That's great. You still can learn and grow as time goes on. So having a third party and someone to talk to, whoever that is, please know that's a powerful tool. For me, now it's going on my 17th year in Vistage of having a group that you can share about personal, about business, and really open up to, has been invaluable in my help. Last same point on this is, and this one amazes me. I hear lately, on the internet about don't listen to what other people say. You know what? Keep all these people out of your life. Don't worry about anyone else's opinion. You just move forward. And I want to tweak that. Listen, if someone's just giving you gibberish and being mean, of course, you know what? You got to have that gift of blindness that you can let that go. But I never want to get to a point where I'm not taking in feedback to make myself better. I need the opportunity to evaluate that feedback and say, you know what? They said, they're giving me constructive criticism, but I really don't feel I'm doing what they say. However, they feel that way, so maybe I can tweak here or tweak there. You can always learn, from other people. One of my goals is always learning from other people's mistakes so I don't have to make the same mistake. There's only a finite amount of time that we're on this earth. I would rather say, if I got to deal with a mistake, let's deal with and fix it while someone else went through that challenge. I learned from it and I don't have to live it myself. All right. This idea of taking things so personally and internalizing them, I got to tell you, it's one of the biggest challenges. And I'm even going to use this word. It's one of the biggest weaknesses. See, I think people confuse this idea that says, how do I not take personal things personal? You know what? I'm not even telling you don't take it personal. But you can't take it personal where it slows down your momentum to what you're trying to create. You've got to be able to take intel in, evaluate it for yourself. And if you don't feel there's any value there, you throw it out. But when someone says something and you take it in, see, let's be honest with ourselves. The only reason we take that information in and it really bothers us is because we give it validity in our lives. We think, oh my God, they're right. Or there's a portion of what they say is right. Or do they really think that? And I think that they think that and all this stuff. Well, guess what? Go back to being your best friend. Best friends don't act that way. Best friends stop. We get refocused on what we're trying to create in our life, the direction we're going. We're going, wait a minute. All this craziness is just confusing me, not making me feel great. What do I need to do in this situation? Evaluate. Can I make it better? Let's say I screwed up. You know what? I think what they said has validity. I'm not going to do that again. And I'm certainly not going to worry about that they're holding it against me. Move on. That's up to them. A best friend lets those things go. Did you ever do something? And even, to your best friend, you did something you shouldn't have done. They told you something and you told a friend that you shouldn't have said it to and you felt bad and they were mad. And you know what? Best friends forgive each other. And hopefully you learn from that lesson and you don't do it again. All right? You've got to be your best friend. All these key aspects come into play, right? If you truly want to live a fulfilled life and be happy, you got to be able to get past these small bumps. And even if they're not small, some of us have really big challenges that have happened in our lives or people that we know and love, right? The reality of it is you have two choices. You're going to move forward towards where you want to go, or you're going to move backwards away from where you want to go. I wish there was a way that I could say you can stop and stay right there. It doesn't work that way. You're moving forward or you're moving backward. Next, along these lines, and this ties into, again, some of the questions that came in. We all heard about this concept called why. I'm not going to get into it. You must know your why. But I will tell you this. If you really don't know what you want, all right, how are you supposed to go? And really, how are you supposed to get inspired? It would be this. Let me give you an analogy. You're running a race and no one tells you how far it is. Okay? You just keep running and you have no idea when it's going to end. How inspiring would that race be? You just keep going and going and going. For all you know, it's a 100-day race. All right? You know what? People would have a challenge with that. We need to know. We need to know those things. So for you, you need to really internalize, what do you want? What's important to you? And there's no parameters on it. Don't put any parameters. What's important to you? Doesn't have to be, you know what? I made $250,000. Now I got to make $500,000. Now I got to make $1 million. Now I got to make $2 million. Absolutely doesn't need to be that. But whatever those goals are for you, you need to be clear about what they are. Because if you're not clear, no one else is clear. No family member, no friend, no one else can tell you absolutely what you want besides you. And know this. Sometimes what we do can be a means to that end. Let's say there's things that you want that absolutely do cost dollars, all right? Then you get focused on what you want, you earn those dollars, you buy what that, gift, that goal is for you, all right? You just got to make sure that's really what I want. And that's the time that people don't take enough time doing, really determining what you want. I will tell you this, because this is one thing that is very important to me. When you get clear on what's important to you and what you want, man, it's so hard for people to throw you off kilter and throw you off your goals because you know them, you think about them, you're tasting them, you're all day, every day, in the shower when you're getting ready, when you're getting dressed, they're constantly with you because guess what? They're really what you want. Okay, so you've got to get that. No one else can get that for you. And you need to take the time to think about it. And if you sit down and it takes you 3 minutes to write them on a piece of paper, I'm going to bet that those aren't really what you're looking for. One item I use to help me, all right, keeping me inspired and excited and focusing on what I want. So let's say you determine what it is, you've taken the time. How about inspirational movies? Inspirational songs, inspirational stories. Whatever gets you, float your boat. I'm a big guy like that. I like watching, if I watch a movie with a message, hits me, okay? It can be an emotional message and it hits me emotionally, all right? I'm a big lyrics person. I like to listen to the words of a song and understand, how that's going to inspire me to the next level. I'll even sometimes change it, okay? The ultimate meaning, that may not be the reason they wrote the song, but that's how it connects to me. So I use those songs' lyrics, okay, to help inspire me and get me to the next level. And so use whatever at your disposal, whatever that is, that you're feeding you inside, because that's what a best friend would do, feed you all these positives and all these inspirational messages to get you moving, continue moving towards what you want to create. When I talk about inspirational stories, there are so many people who've come from despair or nothing and have created great things in their life. When I watch a movie like that, it brings me back to center. It lets me know, Mark, you want to live a fulfilled life? Look at what these people have gone through. Look at what people are going through that you've never had the opportunity to meet, but they're there. Come on, let's keep moving forward and again, achieve what you're trying to achieve because guess what? You're incredibly blessed okay, with your life, and you have nothing to complain about, right? When all is said and done. Next, along these same lines is, and again, I've taken a lot of these questions and moved them in, so hopefully you're picking up on what you specifically asked. I think you will. And that is, you got to understand it's about your journey and not the destination. When we say that, enjoy the journey, don't focus on the destination, what we're really saying is enjoy each day, because that's what it is. You got to enjoy the journey. Listen, to me, it's an excuse to say, well, I've got to only focus on the destination. That's the only way I'll get there. You know what? Again, you're lying to yourself. You can focus on being excited each and every day, and you can never lose sight of where you're trying to go. But guess what? Again, we only have a finite amount of time, and we don't know what that is. So talk about, in that run, life is like that. We don't know. So you just got to get excited about that day. All right. And if you can do that, now it's about the journey. And I promise you this, you put a lot of positive days, a lot of productive days together, as I've said many times before, your weeks, your months, and certainly your years come through. Your goals and your actions should clearly support where you're trying to go. I see this all the time. People will tell me, here's what I want. And then if you just gauge what they're doing, the two are this. They are not going in any direction together whatsoever. It makes no sense. If you want something, truly want it, then your actions and your goals need to tie together and continue moving in the same direction. Stop placing expectations. One, stop placing unrealistic expectations on yourself. Tie it to the goal. Sometimes we make that goal and then we come up with these other expectations that, again, they're over the top and they're not even tying into your goal ultimately. All right, but stop putting expectations on others. Look, are you having enough challenges getting you where you want to be? Now you're putting expectations on other people. It's one thing if someone works for you. That's why making clear expectations for that person prior to ever hiring them is so important. Because you want them to know up front, hey, don't take this position. Don't work with me if you're not cool with these expectations, because these are my expectations. They're not going to be a surprise. I'm telling you up front what they are. All right. So, but I see so many times people interact with people, could be clients, could be friends, acquaintances, and you expect people to act a certain way. And then as soon as they don't act that way, you get disappointed. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Virtually, you'll be disappointed 90+% of the time. All right. And probably in the high 90s. People are living their own life. They're doing things for their own reasons. They make their own decisions for their own reasons. And by the way, are people allowed to make a bad decision? Of course they are. People make bad decisions all the time. Doesn't make them a bad person. All right. But if they make a bad decision and that's part of their journey to learn and get them on the right path, okay, or maybe that is the right path specifically for them to learn whatever they're supposed to learn. Stop putting expectations. When someone doesn't act the way that you expect them to act, now you're taking that personally and you're bringing that into your life. Tell me how that is helping your momentum moving forward to what you're trying to create. I'm telling you it's not. It's not. You have to have that gift of blindness and push that stuff off. And when someone does something that you wouldn't do and you don't think it's the right way to go, guess what? You didn't do it. You don't have to make that decision. All right? You can even say, you know what, if they're asking your opinion, you could say, no, I would not have handled that way. I don't think that's the right way to handle it. However, you know what? You believe differently and you're going to go do this, or you have done that. And, I'm not here to judge you, which brings me to the next one. Got to stay out of judgment. And I know this is so hard. This is a tough one for all of us because we all have an opinion and we all believe what we believe, and beliefs are powerful things. And so once we believe something, someone goes down the other road. Oh my God, how do they even think this way? Are they crazy? You know what? Stay out of judgment. I don't even want you judging you. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. The kicker is, here's what I believe. When you really get this, and you never totally get it, So that's a beautiful thing too. So you don't have to worry about totally understanding, because you never will. None of us do. But when you get to the point where no matter what outwardly happens, you can stay focused and continually move the momentum forward in where you're trying to go, you know what? That's a powerful, powerful situation. And I promise you this, like the tortoise and the hare, all right? You're that tortoise continuing, moving forward in the right direction with the right momentum. You will have more success and more abundance in your life, all right, than I will tell you that pretty much anyone around you. Not that the comparison matters, because that's another aspect. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. All right. In fact, let's go to it right now. So I'm not getting religious on you, but I'm going to pull in the 10th commandment. Do not covet anything of thy neighbor. All right. So let me share this. Look, you're on your journey. You have what you truly want to accomplish in your life. It's a beautiful thing. What other people have, all right? Great. Be happy for them. That's exciting. All right. Don't worry about it. Don't focus on it. I will tell you, there's a lot of people who have whatever they have in their lives. And you know what? If they really sat down and talked to you and they were honest, they would change a lot of the decisions they've made up to that date. And if they wouldn't change those decisions, that's a beautiful thing too. It doesn't matter. What matters is your journey, where you're going, your momentum moving forward. Don't worry about what other people have. You know, if some people say, well, that's a motivator for me, I see that, you know what? Then what you need to do is you need to tweak that into yours. If it's something, they just bought a new boat and you saw that, great, get excited about a boat. Go on the boat you want to buy. Get all about that boat. Understand the boat. But guess what? It's no one else's. It's your boat. And you're focused on achieving that goal. Beautiful thing. And you've tweaked your actions and your mindset to take you in the direction to achieve that. But guess what? That has nothing to do with Bobby or Susie. That has to do with you. All right, then it's a beautiful thing. Stay focused on you and your journey, not other people. Another question came up about free time and vacations, and I think I covered enough that will help with this one as well. So ultimately, the question was, how do I take time off? How do I take vacations, even a break, when my phone rings 24/7? Aha! I told you we were going to talk about more of the truth. All right, so first, you're lying to yourself. Okay, you're making the decision, and it's not true. I'm going to prove it to you. It's not true that I have to answer my phone, okay, 24/7. Okay, let me prove to you that that is ultimately not the case. All right, so first, let me give you the 100 listing story. So you have a client who says to you, I have 100 homes for you to list individually, okay? 100 homes individually. By the way, I'm paying you full commission on the 100 homes. I just need them sold. But here's the deal. We need to beat 100 days in a row from 8 to noon, uninterrupted. I'm going to take you through each of the houses. I want to sit down and go through all the upgrades. I want to explain to you about the house, what my goals are, each individual house. So we're going to meet 4 hours a day for the next 100 days, and you are guaranteed 100 listings. If you miss a day, you miss one day in the contract, you give up all listings and you give up all commissions on the entire 100. Now, how many of you would take that deal? I think pretty much everybody. You know, I know some people are out there going, oh, it's too much work for me. I wouldn't take it. Okay, depending on your goals, that might be the right answer. But let's say you were willing to take the 100 listings. All right, now, and they were priced right at market to sell. They were priced to sell. So now you have to meet with this person. And by the way, the weekends don't count. So when I say 100 days in a row, it doesn't count weekends, 100 business days in a row. So Monday through Friday, you're meeting 8 to noon. Would you answer your phone knowing if you do, during 8 to noon, you lose all the listings? No, you wouldn't. You would figure it out. You know why? Because those 100 listings would become a priority to you. an important priority to you. So when you make a statement that says, I don't have time to take a break, what you're really saying is, I don't see value. It's not a priority for me to take a break. See, if it was, you absolutely would do it, just like the listings. But the only things we don't do is the things we don't consider a priority. Every one of us live our priorities by definition. That's why they're priorities. You walk your dog at 4 a.m, okay? Even days that you sit there and go, I don't want to do it, but you do it, it's a priority. How do I know that? Because you actually do it. We all live our priorities. If we actually do it, it was a priority. If it's something we don't do, it wasn't a priority. Whatever the case. Real simple rule. You don't have to explain anything. If you do it, it's a priority. If you don't do it, it's not. So, back to free time. If it's important to you, you block it out. It's a $10 million listing appointment. One listing that says we're going to be uninterrupted today. And that's how it is. Guys, and know this, that if you want to take time off, that doesn't mean you can't set it up to give, a number, leave a voicemail to say if you need something while I'm unavailable, please call, this person at this number. You want to do that. Or, hey, I will be with a client and out of touch from my phone till tonight. I will return all calls tomorrow morning. All right. If you want to take time off, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you're honest with yourself and you make it a priority. If it's not a priority to you and you don't see value in time off, guess what? You won't take time off, and you'll make that lie excuse, and I mean that with love, that says, I can't, I don't have time. One other analogy on this, story around this. Do you ever have days that you're so busy and someone says, hey, can you help me out? I don't have a second today. I'm sorry, I am buried today. I don't have time to do anything. And then an emergency comes up that has to be handled, and you handle it. Why? Because you had to. And it's amazing how you fit that in. And now that's a new priority. And I don't know, maybe you got everything done that day you had to, and maybe you did it. It's not the point. When you make it a priority and you have to get it done, we get it done. When it's not a priority, well, it can be delayed. And a lot of things in our lives we delay, like free time, like treating ourselves like a best friend and saying, you know what, I can't work 7 days a week. I need some time to let my mind rest, to let my body rest, and get back to center. And how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do something I really enjoy to do. Let's say I go every weekend on my hike, and I do my hikes, and that's great for me, and that inspires me, and I love it, and gets me ready for the week. It's a beautiful thing. Whatever works for you, but you have to commit to it and make it a priority. I wanted a question came up about my background. And so real quick, and I've shared it before, but let me take you through real quickly. And then and then we got a few more questions, and I'll open up to any new questions that have come up. Moved out from Chicago, Illinois to go to UNLV for hotel management school. Worked at the hotels, realized that wasn't for me. Ended up getting into real estate sales via my roommate in college at 21 years of age. Went to career nights, took to it like a fish to water. Sold for almost 7 years, and the president of this company, been with the same company for 35 years, 35 years this November. The president of the company asked me to do some training. I agreed to do some training. After about 8 months of training, and that was while I still sold, because that was the bulk, that was 100% of all my income. The training was really just a stipend. And then a office opened up, and the owner came back to me and said, we'll let you grow the office as large as you want. We just have to have you transition out of sales. We were able to sit down. Mark Basevic, who was the president of the company at that time and my first real mentor in my life, wanted me to do it. Love Mark. And I said, okay, this is a new challenge for me, and moved down the leadership road. Didn't have a plan for that. That's the way it went. A few years later, Mark ended up getting hurt in a skydiving accident. You know what? It was bad. He lived through it. As crazy as that sounds, but he lived through it, but it was a definite problem. A little bit after that, I realized, you know what? Mark was the leader, and we needed a general manager to help support, okay, that scenario specifically after Mark's accident a while out. Got that position, got his general manager. A couple years went by, ended up being placed in as owner when one of the other owners retired. And then in 2004, I bought the whole company, the remaining shares of the company. I'd love to tell you that I had a plan for all that. Did not have a plan for all that. I've been fortunate. I've had an amazing amount of mentors in my life to help me through process. But the one thing I committed to, and this is the way my brain works, I'm a creature of results, meaning this. I don't expect any benefit unless I make things happen. And if I make things happen, I never had to worry about compensation. I never had to worry about success, because as long as I could create results, truthfully, I was untouchable. I could always continue to succeed. And that's exactly what happened in that position. The next question was, what was one of the biggest challenges that I've ever experienced? And I have to tell you, after buying the company at the top of the market, because my goal is to buy high, sell low, joke, okay, bought it at the top of the market. Then we go through the downturn, late 06, 07, 08, into 09. That was clearly the toughest challenge. Had a lender attacking the company, had to fight him in court, had to run the organization, and it was a really eye-opener. And I will say this today, and at a later date, I'll give you the full story behind that. Just don't have time to do that today. But I will say that it is part of me now, that challenge, okay? See, people will say, well, you went through that failure. I honestly don't look at it. I think failure gets such a bad rap. Bumps in the road, challenges in life really make you who you are. There's a song, and I've mentioned this before, called Mountains. And it's, that's why God made mountains. So he can teach us how to climb and fall and climb and fall. And that whole situation was really difficult time. But you know what? You get focused on what you're grateful for. You know how to do what you know how to do, and you move forward doing it. Another question was, what was my vision? What's my vision for the company? Back in 2001, we transformed the company from a traditional real estate company to a business service company. What that ultimately means is we help agents grow brokerages under the umbrella of our company, be it a brokerage of one agent or a brokerage of 21 agents. That's up to the sales executive themselves to create based on their goals. But that is our model for the company. My vision is I want to have an organization that provides the best systems, the best support, and the best tools that, sales executives say there's no other better place to work, culture-wise, system-wise, support-wise, to build my brokerage within a brokerage. Regardless of size, regardless of how many people you choose to have within your business, you know that the best support and the best help is here. And the icing on the cake is that support has to support buyers and sellers, because I do believe, and part of the vision is, for it to be great for our sales executives, it's got to support buyers and sellers first. Everything is great for agents if buyers and sellers love it, because if they love it, that's got to be great for our agents who are trying to do business with buyers and sellers. Okay, that's our vision. With that said, I'd like to open it up to any other questions that have come out. And if I did not answer one of your questions fully, please feel free to answer that question once again, or ask that question once again. Any other questions? Let's see here. Let's see. Nope, I don't.
No questions.
No questions. I don't see any new questions coming up. Okay, well then I did either a great job or you fell asleep. Either way, I hope you got value. Listen, let me sum it up by saying this. Living a fulfilled, happy life of abundance is entirely a personal choice. has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with anything but what you find value in life. That's why it's so important to really get clear with you on what's important to you. But I will tell you this, when you do find what's important to you and you know it and you move in that direction, there is nothing more inspiring, more exciting, all right, and more passionate than moving in the direction to do things that you truly love and are passionate to do. I know nothing else that would help you live a more successful, happy, and abundant life. I appreciate all the viewers today. Of course, as always, if you found today's information valuable, like it, share it, follow, and I so appreciate everyone's time. As always, we will be here every Tuesday at 1:30, hopefully bringing great content and answering all your questions. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.